A very good morning, class 11. This is the lecture for the subject physical education, and we were doing chapter number 6, and today we are going to start with our lecture number 5. In the last lecture, in lecture number 4, we were talking about adventure sports and its objectives, and today we are going to talk about the types of adventure sports. Okay, so in the book they have given a lot number of adventure sports like rock climbing, trekking, river rafting, surfing, and paragliding. So in the today's lecture we will be discussing these three, right? And in the next lecture we will be continuing with river rafting, surfing and paragliding. So starting with rock climbing. So you might have seen rock climbing. It is done in the natural environment, also natural in the mountains, basically where the rocks are there, and it can be done in the artificial rocks as well, right? So when we talk about rock climbing, right? So it is one. Just writing it. Rock climbing. Okay. So it is one of the dangerous sports activities which require, it does, now first of all, what all requirements are there for a basic, for just participating in rock climbing? There should be mental control, mental stability. Right? Strength, endurance, coordinative abilities, okay. With that, we also require flexibility, agility, so these are some of the physical fitness components which are basically required if an individual needs to do rock climbing, right? We also need to have this mental stability, or you can say mental control, right? And then these physical fitness components are the basic requirements for an individual to perform rock climbing, right? So now, as in the starting, when I just started it, I just said that it can be done in the natural rock formation. So it can be done in the with the nature, in the environment, and it can also be done when it is like artificially made. You might have seen it many times in the adventure sports or basic, when we used to have this in our school. Rock sport, then they used to place this kind of a wall, no? They used to place this kind of wall in which these rocks were there and you were asked to climb. So these kind of artificial rocks can be made. Okay, there can be these artificial rocks, or it can be some natural rock formation. Basically the thing is that rock climbing is just where you have to climb the rocks, fine, right? It can be artificially made, it can be some natural rock formation, something like that, right? Now how you are going to do it? It can be done in these two manners, means these are the two places where it can be done. But what is the whole idea of doing it? How you do it, right? So the main goal, basically the main goal is to reach the apex, that is the top. So what you have to do is, the goal is to reach at the apex, that is the top basically, right? Or the summit of a formation. Now again, formation can be any. It can be natural rock formation, or it can also be an artificial rock formation, so it depends, right? Or you can say that the first thing is that, other thing can be how much you have already planned to climb. Now it depends. If it is a very big rock and it might take a lot more duration to climb the whole rock, so there might be some kind of a predetermined route, right? So without falling, when you reach that point, so reaching the end point of a predetermined route. And in both of these, it is very important that there is no falling, that you complete it without falling, right? So that is the main goal, and that is how the rock climbing is to be done. Now, to successfully complete the whole climb, if you want to climb and you want it to be successful, it is very important that you also come back to the base from where you initially started, right? So when we talk about how it can be successful, that yes, you have achieved that goal, or how you have you can say that you have achieved something, that when you perform rock climbing, for example, right, for example, just the example, if you have started from here, you started, right, after climbing the whole rock, right, and reaching the top of the rock, what you have, without falling, you again have to come back, the whole procedure. Only then you will be called as that you have successfully completed the whole rock climbing. So just starting to the top, and then from the top coming back to the starting where you have just started in the initial base, right? It can be said at the base area where you actually started it. A base point, it depends. It can be called like that. Okay. So rock climbing, this is how you need to do it. This is how you will be called a successful rock climber, if without falling you just go to the top and come back to the base area, right? Now moving towards the competition. Now there are various competitions also which are organized as a in rock climbing, and these competitions just have this objective of what you have to do, or you have to just complete the prefixed route in a minimum time. Like for example, if you have given around 4 hours, or sorry, you have just they have just asked you to what exact place you have to reach. So there is this fixed place, and everyone is asked to just reach that fixed place in the minimum possible time. So whosoever will be reaching a minimum possible time will be the winner of this competition. Or it also can be to attain the farthest point on a difficult route. Right? If it is a very difficult route, now it is for a difficult route. If it is a very difficult route, right, then reaching the farthest point. And according to these two methods, you can have a winner of such competitions. Fine. Now there are different types of rock climbing. So there are different, you can say different types of rock climbing. The very first one is your aid climbing. I'm just giving you a brief, a short, just the description of all these types, as though it is not given there in your book, but still it will be an important thing that you need. You just have this information. So we are just talking about the types of rock climbing. The very first one is aid climbing. In this kind of climbing, we use a lot of devices. for protection, and which will also going to help us to climb. So protection and helping us to climb, right? Fine. So this is aid climbing. The next one is your free climbing. Okay, so as the name suggests, we just don't use any kind of device to help us to climb the mountain. We might use ropes and some equipment just for the sake of protection. Or just you can say that we need to prevent any injury or something. So that is why we just use some equipment for that. Otherwise, we don't use any kind of other gears to climb the mountain. Fine. Okay. Moving towards the third one, that is our traditional rock climbing, or it is also known as trad. Trad or traditional. Fine. Traditional rock climbing. And in these kind of climbing, we actually what we do is we place all the gears prior to, while we just do it, right? We place the gears first on the rocks, which is going to move, which is going to help us to move upward or to climb the rock, right? The next one is our sport climbing, and see, sport climbing are a kind of, you know, sport climbing are kind of basic competitions. These are kind of like basic climbing, you can say. Basic this is your sports climbing, that is the basic one, right? Then there we have our free soloing. So free soloing means that an individual is going on their own, right? That is free soloing, when an individual prefers to go all alone. That is our free soloing, right? Somebody who's just go alone with on his own or on her own, right? Then we have our top rope climbing. Now this is a kind of a climbing where what we do is we securely attach ourselves to a rope, right? So that is our top rope. And in this what we do, we securely attach to a rope, right? Which is like, again, which is extended to the top. Fine. Okay. And the last one, that is our bouldering. Bouldering are basically the artificial rocks which you have to climb. So these are the artificial one, top rope and free soloing, right? So these are few of the types of rock climbing, though in the book the explanation for the types are not given, and it is just for your own knowledge. That's why I've just given you the a small description of the types also. So rock climbing is done. Now you have understood that rock climbing is something which is very dangerous, right? It has a lot of types. It can be done in artificial as well as natural made rocks, right? Formation jo hai rocks ke. There are competitions also for rock climbing. Moving towards the next type of sports, adventure sports, is a trekking. Okay, so see, trekking is an adventure sports, as we all know. Though it is not an easy task to trek, right? It is not something which is easy, right? Now see, we will be talking about its type again in the later in the lecture. So there are different types also, and according to one who is a beginner, or according to one who has just started, right, or some who is expert in trekking. So it depends on what kind of trek an individual chooses to do, right? So basically, a trek is a long journey on foot. So what is there that you have to move on your foot? So trek is a just a long journey on foot, especially in the mountains. Fine. Okay. So trekking refers to making a long and difficult journey on the mountains for pleasure or sport. So it depends. So it is just something which is long, though which is difficult also, and it is just done for the sake of enjoyment, right, for pleasure, and it can be also done for sport purposes also, right? So trekking is a part of an adventure. So it's just an adventure traveling and everything, right? So the duration, now moving towards the duration of trekking. So duration of a trek can be less than a day or over a month. So it depends. See, basically what the duration is can be of less than a day, right? Or it can just exceed to a month also. So it depends on what kind of a trek it is, right? Again, as I said, there are different kind of treks for beginners, for experts, for intermediates. It depends on what kind of trek an individual take. If you are just starting with trekking or something, you can just go for a trek which is for like a day or two. Otherwise, there are people, those who have this, those who are experts in trekking and everything, they might go for weeks and months, right? So the duration, it depends on the journey and everything. As I said, so it basically, the duration is basically dependent, it depends on our own interest, right? Physical fitness, which is important. Right? Or it also depends on what kind of an area you are into, right? What kind of an area you are, or a place where you are doing this trekking and everything, right? Though it is a better option that when you go for a trek, try and go for these treks with the groups, right? And do it with a planned manner. Don't just go out like that. The whole journey should be planned properly. You should go with a group, or you should take someone who is already known to all these kind of treks and everything, right? Now some of the benefits of trekking are that it enhances our self-confidence. So it is going to build up your confidence, right? It is also going to improve the cardiovascular fitness of an individual, right? And it also it just also improve your health in general, right? So it's going to improve your health as well, right? Okay. Now there are basically 4 types of trekking. So as it starts from the basic easier one, where the beginners can try and do that particular route, right? Just writing it here. This is trekking. Trekking types, right? The very first one is our easy trekking. And as the name suggests, you might have understood that it is the most easiest one, the smallest one. It will take less time. The area which is to be covered, it would be less. It would be more, it will be very easy in walking also. It might not be in higher altitudes and everything. I'm just writing the whole the thing about it. So it is specially done by the beginners, right? And there is no difficult climbing in there. So no difficult climbing. Fine. Basically there is no climbing in the high altitude. So basically no climbing in high altitudes. Fine. So you can see in the lower altitudes there are more of trees, more of greenery will be there. So in these kind of treks, basically you are going to see a lot of colorful visuals, right, of the whole mountain and everything. It will be trees and everything, more greenery will be there. So basically easy treks are for beginners, no difficult climbing is there. Basically the climbing is not at the higher altitudes, so it is an easier one. It will take less duration also, right? Less energy will be required for doing easy treks. Next one is our moderate. Fine. So moderate treks are slightly difficult from the easier one, or they are more challenging, you can say. The point is, it is just, you can just write that they are much more like difficult or challenging if you are comparing it with the easy treks, basically. Fine, if you are just comparing it. In this kind of treks, the trekkers should be much more energetic. You need to have more energy. You should be energized. So one should be energetic, right? Such trekking is usually longer than roughly 10 days of walking up and down. So it will take around 10 days. Up and down means just you have to take. So when you started with the trek with the initial base, you just started moving up and then coming down. So whole it might take around 10 days to do it. And there is slightly higher altitudes. So you have slightly higher altitudes. Fine. Okay. So these are the moderate treks. They are much more difficult and challenging as compared to the easier one. An individual needs to be energetic, right? More energy is required. The whole trek will take around 10 days for going up and down both. Considering here, and there might be slightly, it might be in the slight higher altitudes, right? The next type is strenuous trekking. So strenuous trekking needs a lot of physical effort, energy and determination. Why? Because these are long routes which are difficult, which are very challenging. So that is why an individual needs to have physical efforts to do it. Right? Requiring more of energy, right? And determination, so that he can just, complete the whole route. In such type of trekking, some previous experience in mountain trekking is very important, right? So it is very important that an individual should be a bit of experienced with the type of trekking we are talking about. These trek involve high altitudes, right? Usually up to 5,000 meters. So these have these high altitudes up to 5,000 meters. Fine. And it also involves steep climbing. strenuous, you need to have good physical effort, you have to put physical efforts, energy should be there, determination should be there, an individual needs to be experienced with the whole of this trekking and everything. High altitudes might lead up to the extent of 5,000 meters, and there will be this steep climbing, right? The steep one climbing, right? The last type of trekking is the last one is a difficult trekking. Okay. So in difficult trekking, this type of trekking is suitable only for real adventure seekers, people who actually wants to have real adventure. Fine. Some steep extent would be there. There will be high altitudes are involved in this type of trekking. See, so there will be these high altitudes, right? An individual needs to have good endurance, right, to complete such trek, as they may last approximately over than 1 month. So you need to have a lot of endurance so that you just don't get tired in between, because it might lead to, the duration might be of around 1 month, or you can say approximately 1 month. Fine. So the main thing is, so there these 4 types are there, from your easy and everything, then strenuous, difficult trekking. The difficult trekking are mostly done by the people, those who actually want some adventure in their life. There will be high altitude, and individual might need a lot of endurance also. Why? Because this might lead to up to a month or so. Right. Now moving towards today's homework. Okay. So this is question number 1 is, what is rock climbing? Right. Question number 2. What do you mean by trekking? The last one is, explain any 2 types of trekking. This will be your homework for today. Now we will be discussing the solutions of the homework which were given in your lecture number 4. The questions were, what do you mean by adventure sports, and explaining some of the objective of adventure sports. So the answer for question 1 is, adventure sports is a outdoor sports basically. It is a outdoor sports, right? In which the participant, right? The participant competes in natural environment, right? And just competing against himself or herself. Question number 2 was about the objectives of adventure sports, and the answer for question number 2 is it develops self-confidence, to nurture bonding with nature, okay, to enhance physical fitness, okay. Though in the book there are a lot more, right? I'm just writing 3. You can write any one of them which you feel like writing. Fine. So this is the end of your lecture. Thank you.